Hello. Last week I had the welcome opportunity to sit and have lunch with a colleague whom I seldom get to see. As part of our conversation, they told me with great joy that they had just completed something called Couch to 5K. For those of you not in the know, Couch to 5K is a running plan for absolute beginners. It was developed by a new runner, Josh Clark, who wanted to help his 50-something mum get off the couch and start running too. The plan involves 3 runs a week, with a day of rest in between, and a different schedule for each of the 9 weeks. The podcasts feature music, but also a narrator who tells you what you need to do. My colleague described how just when they felt like giving up, the voice on the app motivated them to persevere and keep going. It was this voice that helped my colleague persevere when all they wanted to do was give up, because it felt like their stomach was in their mouth. As I glanced out of the RE office window, this got me thinking about our friends, the oyster catchers, that I talked about a few weeks ago. They have returned to the same nesting site on top of the gym roof. When I spoke previously about them, I mentioned that the chicks had hatched. Coincidentally, that very same evening that I delivered that reflection, the oyster chicks descended from the roof of the gym and took a circuitous route onto the school field and off into the wild. Unfortunately, I need to be the bearer of bad tidings. It seems highly likely that the chicks did not survive, and that is why the adults are back on the gym roof. Normally, a single nesting attempt is made per breeding season, timed over the summer months. However, oyster catchers will lay repeated clutches if the nest and the eggs are destroyed, or if the chicks die early. Glancing out at the adults currently sitting resolutely on top of the eggs, they are for me another example of perseverance in the face of challenge and adversity. In the book of the Bible called Hebrews, the writer talks about life as running a race. This draws from the rich imagery of the long-distance races of ancient Israel, Greece, and the amphitheatres of Rome. In the text, there is an encouragement to fix our eyes on Jesus. Now, in a race, there might be a pace setter who is a model to be imitated, or as a runner, you might focus on keeping another participant in your sights. Similarly, in the Hebrew passage, it suggests looking to the example of Jesus to give us encouragement in running our race of life. We might look to how he lived his life, how he interacted with others, how he exemplified justice, compassion, forgiveness, and trust. The letter to the Hebrews was written to encourage believers to persevere in their faith, especially in the midst of facing difficulties in life. Athletes in a race were usually surrounded by rows and rows of spectators cheering them on. The writer here says that we too are cheered on in running the race of life by those people of faith who have lived before us. My hope is that all of us might have the strength to persevere as we run the race of life over the coming weeks and months. I pray that we might be encouraged by our friends and colleagues and be inspired by our school values. The writer to the Hebrews had in mind a marathon, not a sprint. And so I pray for faith, stamina, commitment, and discipline to enable us to persevere. Bless you all.